Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So, guys, Bivol has come out and said something which I think a lot of people aren't gonna like, Canelo fans especially. But I actually think it's a stance from Dmitry Bivol. Now, Bivol is saying that I'm not interested in a Canelo rematch. I'm not interested. It doesn't really interest me. And I'm quite surprised by that because I said that Bivol surely is interested. I mean, he wants a payday. But is it a case where Bivol's not interested anymore? Where he feels that, you know what? I think it could be a negotiation tactic. Bivol only got paid 5 million last time when he fought Canelo. And listen, 5 million's a lot of money. I don't want to make it sound like 5 million's not a lot. But when you're fighting Canelo and you look at some of the names that Canelo's fought and some of the money that they got, Bivol's probably thinking he was underpaid a little bit. Bivol was unknown. Nobody really knew who he was. But from his situation now, it's probably a case where he's trying to negotiate a good deal for himself. Maybe it's a case where when he says it's not good, I'm pretty sure if he gets 20 million, I'm pretty sure then he's not gonna say it does where it doesn't really interest me. I mean, if it's in a contract, I mean he has to fight him again. So I don't know what if it's not in the contract, then maybe he doesn't need to fight him again and it doesn't interest him. But money talks. And if he gets, and I personally think his stance is to do with money. I think if he's probably thinking that, look, I'll take the rematch, but only if it makes sense for me, because it was an easy fight. I beat him comfortably, and I don't need to fight him again. And Canelo Alvarez is probably trying to force the issue because Canelo Alvarez, knowing Canelo Alvarez the way I do from following his career, Canelo Alvarez is the type of guy that he wants to avenge that loss because that's really cutting him deep. Because Canelo Alvarez could get over the Floyd Mayweather loss because he wasn't in his prime. Unfortunately, he's in his prime and he got beat by Bivol and that doesn't sit too well with him. So he wants to avenge that loss. But from Bivol's situation, really, apart from money, he doesn't really have anything to gain because Canelo doesn't bring anything. He doesn't have any belts. He doesn't have anything that really interests Bivol. The only thing he brings is money. And unless the money is and this is why Bivol's probably saying that it doesn't interest me because maybe the money that they're offering isn't spectacular. Is it a case where Canelo's gonna have to pay him a bit out of his purse? Where Canelo says, you know what, I'll take a little bit of a cut. But Canelo did lose the first fight, so I'll take a bit of a cut on the pay, give him a bit more, and because I want to beat him, I want to avenge that loss. Or is Canelo not going to do that? I personally think Canelo Alvarez is probably going to say, you know what, maybe this might be a get out for Canelo. I personally think that knowing Canelo, the way Canelo's moved, Canelo Alvarez would want that rematch. However, this might be a get out card for Canelo Alvarez where he could say that Bivol didn't want it. So I moved on. You know, Bivol priced himself out the fight and he didn't want it. I don't know whether Canelo's not. I think Canelo's going to chase him though, because that, like I said, that loss is going to cut him deep if he doesn't avenge it. People are always going to say you got beat by Mayweather. All right, you had an excuse, you were out of your prime, but you got beat by Bivol. He schooled you. And yes, you could say, well, the excuse could be the guy was too big, but you know, that's not. Canelo won't be able to live with that, in my opinion. Canelo needs to fight Bivol again, in my opinion. And until Canelo fights him again and beats him, that's always going to be an asterisk next to his resume, next to his career, unfortunately. Because when you're at the level of Canelo Alvarez and you're being talked about the way Canelo Alvarez gets talked about, unfortunately, those things stay with you and people will always bring that up. So Canelo really, in my opinion, should try to force that rematch. And listen, if he gets beat again, then he just wasn't good enough. We know that the guy was too big and he got beat. You know, that's fair enough. If he gets beat by Bivol again, but at least give it himself another go. I mean, I don't think he's going to beat Bivol. The way Canelo's looked in the last 3 or 4 fights, I mean, I can't see him beating Bivol at this point. I mean, he's not looked good enough for me. And now that might be down because of his injuries or whatever, but even I'm thinking Canelo at his best. I mean, does he beat Dmitry Bivol? I don't know. I don't know. I think Bivol is just too big, too good, too skilled. And unfortunately, I just can't see Canelo winning that fight, even if he's at his razor sharp best, because Bivol is really, really good. He's not your average run-of-the-mill fighter. He's very, very good. So for me, I'm not sure. You know, some may say this is a get out card for Canelo. I don't know though. I don't know. I don't feel that Bivol really wants to fight unless he gets a massive payday where they pay him a silly amount of money. And like I said, the only way that's going to be possible if Canelo takes a pay cut. Because there's not going to pay Canelo 50 million and then give Bivol 20 million as well, because they'll be making a loss. So Canelo's going to have to probably take a little bit of a cut, which, like I said, if he really wants to fight, because really, from Bivol's situation, there's no, unless there's a rematch in the contract, there's a rematch clause in the contract, right? Then he's obligated to fight Canelo again. He has no choice. If there's no rematch clause, Bivol is not obligated to fight Canelo. He's beaten him. He can move on. So it's Canelo's. The only way he can be lured into a rematch is by money. That's it, because Canelo don't bring anything. If Canelo goes and beats Beterbiev and becomes undisputed, then he brings something to the table. But he doesn't bring anything to the table at this point that Bivol really wants, apart from money. That's it. You know, you could probably say the first time Canelo didn't bring anything to the table apart from money. But this first time, Bivol was unknown. So Bivol beating Canelo, he became popular. Not just that, he was fighting one of the best fighters in the world that people were giving him no chance against. Now he's beaten him. He's defended his title successfully against Canelo. So now, what does he really have to gain? Why does he have to fight him again? Because he's already beaten him once. So the only reason he would have to fight him again, if he's obligated in the rematch, if there's a rematch clause in the contract, then he has to fight him again, or he gets paid a shed load of money. I mean, yeah, there's no reason for Bivol to really fight Canelo again. The only way Bivol can be lured back into a fight if he gets paid a shed load of money. If there's a rematch clause, then of course the fight's going to happen. But if there's no rematch clause, then Canelo Alvarez and DAZN are going to have to get their checkbook out. Not Canelo Alvarez, but DAZN and Eddie Hearn, they're going to have to get their checkbook out and pay this man a lot of money, because he's not going to come cheap on the rematch, especially if there's no rematch clause in there. He's gonna ask for a serious amount of money. So yeah, that's my take on it. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.